everyone. Welcome to the AllBrands show. I'm Barbara Chatelaine. I'm so excited for you to be here today. Oh, look, we already have some folks joining. Seeker Keeper, hey, good to see you. Lynn Pike, hey. And Phil Beck, hey, from Icy, Virginia. You've been waiting for this one. Oh my gosh, so good to see you. And Carol Lombard, Mary Strong. So let us know where you're watching from and how's the weather for you today. I know it's been crazy for some of us folks out there, especially in Louisiana and Texas and the Gulf states, and then anyone who experienced all of the snow and storms, and we're thinking of you at this time. So we have some exciting announcements for this live. We always bring the great giveaways, and today we're going to be doing live a $100 allbrands.com e-gift card. So if you like, comment, share, or subscribe if you're on YouTube, that just ups your chances, and we'll pick a live winner at the end of this broadcast. So good luck there. Our next contest we have is for those of you who do have Facebook. We have a Sew Forum community page on Facebook where we love to see everyone's projects that they're working on and keep up with all of our customers and friends. And so that's called allbrands.com Sew Forum community. So the first person to register to be a member will win a $25 allbrands.com e-gift card. So go. Yay. So good luck there. So yes, we have an amazing guest today from Brother. He is a Brother national educator. His name is Jerry Granata. He is an award-winning quilter. He's been featured on the Ricky Thames Show, Alex Anderson, Fonz and Porter Show. He is a Broadway musician. He has been in the armed forces, was in the armed forces for 21 years as a Navy musician. So thank you for your service, Jerry. And he's just an all-around great guy. We love him so much. And I didn't know this, but I was reading that he's an artist too. So he's so super talented in so many different ways. He's always making these gorgeous quilts and putting rhinestones on them and making them just absolutely stunning. So I'll bring in Jerry Granata from Brother. Welcome, Jerry.
Hello, everybody. How are we all doing? Yeah, that's quite the pressure-filled introduction I have there.
Well, you did do all those things, right?
I just don't sleep. I don't sleep. What's the point? I'll sleep when I'm 6 feet under.
Oh my gosh, Jerry, we have a fun-filled, action-packed show today.
Packed show today. Yeah, it's you know, my heart goes out to all of you who are going through some tough times weather-wise. I won't say what my weather is here, but but my heart does go out to all of you. So you're in our thoughts.
Thank you, Jerry. So we were joking around when we were like, oh my gosh, what are we going to talk about today? Because there's so many fun things with the Brother machines to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well, what about caps? What about applique? What about ScanNCut? What about, and then I say, how do we say this in a short way?
Oh, it's an hour show. That's like a know what you're talking about. But I actually found a way that I think I can hit on all of that and kind of let everybody know. So, you know, today I'm going to talk mainly about the persona, the PRS 100, but we're also going to get into ScanNCut, how you can transfer applique designs from your machine to the ScanNCut and then bring it back to your machine and applique it. It's pretty cool little trick. We're going to talk about caps. We're going to talk about the rhinestone kit. So
And I do have to let everyone know, Jerry, there is a brother national promotion going on. Let me just tell you guys a little bit about this because it just started yesterday. It is National Embroidery Month, and Brother is celebrating by having a phenomenal deal. So when you purchase a new Brother Luminaire XP2 sewing and embroidery combination machine, you get 60 months, 0% financing. You also get, and I will show you this because I have them here, Jerry, you get
Yes.
a sewing machine. Not only do you do that, okay, so we have been providing an amazing bundle, but it's sweeter now. So there's the rolling bag set. There's PE Design 11 full digitizing software. That's a $2,000 value. There's the Angela Wolf masterclass in the box. And y'all, we have not raised the price. It's our still amazing, phenomenal, low price, low AllBrands price that we provide. And then now you get a Brother NS80E sewing machine, which is a perfect travel companion. And then that's not all.
Wait, there's more.
So there's also, and I'll come full screen so you could see it. So this is the sewing machine, the Brother NS80, which I'm sure some of you have seen on our show so far. There is a serger now that is a rebate from Brother. It's called the Pace Setter PS3734T. It's a 4-thread serger. It makes an amazing stitch. Comes with 3 feet, an extension table. It has a free arm. It's got amazing differential feed and Brother's great warranty with it too. So yeah, that's great. And guess what? If you don't want a serger, or if you maybe already have one, if you purchase that from AllBrands, you can get the rebate, bring the serger back into our store, and trade that in for a store credit to get what you really wanted. So we will make that National Embroidery Month work for you, but it's only for 8 more days now, I think, Jerry.
Oh my goodness. Y'all better jump on it, because if I know AllBrands, they're going to pack in a lot of stuff. So
yeah,
and killer prices too. So
yeah, so that's the Brother XP2 Luminaire. That's my machine that I love. It's phenomenal. My Design Center, wonderful machine. It's also available. We have 60 months, 0% financing on these machines. The Luminaire XP2, the 10 needle, which is my one right here, 1055X, as well as the 2 Stellaires. So there's a combination sewing and embroidery Stellaire and an embroidery only Stellaire, XJ1 and XC1. So wanted to let you know about that phenomenal deal. Don't miss your chance there.
And the great thing about the financing is it's 0%. So, the finance company is paying your fees, basically. So, get it, finance it at the beginning, and then you can always pay it off later, and there's no prepayment penalty. So, I mean, it's an awesome way to get an incredible deal and on all these machines. If you've been wanting a really great machine and then a machine to take to class, and you're like, but I don't know which one to get, this is the great deal to get. You get the amazing Luminaire, and then you get that wonderful little machine you can take to class.
Yeah, I'm not moving my Luminaire. It's
Right.
very large, but that's a good thing.
That's a studio machine.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you, hey, Jerry, I got to tell everybody because I think it's hilarious. We were like, what are we going to call this class? And I said, how can we explain this in one word? So he's like, please don't. It was, I wrote down one, Puffy My Bling Applique.
My goodness. If you can figure what that out, that's like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I mean, it's just one of those where it's just jam-packed full of stuff. So, okay, well, let's get started.
Wonderful.
All right, so I'm going to talk at the beginning. I've got a couple things I'm going to talk about here. Like we said at the beginning, there's a lot that we're going to cover. I'm going to talk about the Persona, the PRS 100. I'm going to talk about the ScanNCut. Talk about Luminaire just a little bit, only to show you how I'm going to pull designs off it, and then bring that over to ScanNCut, and then we can sew it out on the Persona. So all of these things, the great thing about Brother Machines, they all work together. The icons are the same. So if you've got a lower end model and you've got a higher end model, they all work together. They're all the icons are the same. So you should be able to recognize everything that you're seeing. So the persona, let's start with the persona. I'm going to make a very controversial statement here. The persona is in what we call the semi-industrial range. And that range of Brother consists of the PRS 100, the persona. Then there's also the 6-needle machine, the multi-needle, and there's also the 10-needle machine. So the persona is in with all of its big sisters and brothers. So, but the persona is a single needle machine. What's great about it is the footprint is small. It is semi-industrial, so it does have the same internal guts as the 6 and 10 do. So it can plow through pretty much anything you throw at it. And it also has that great Brother quality. And it also does it's not just an embroidery machine. It also does free motion quilting. What? Yes, it does free motion quilting. I'm going to show you some examples of that. Show me another embroidery only machine that does free motion quilting. Bet you can't. So it's really amazing. Also, you can do caps on this machine. So who is this good for? This is good for anybody. If you are in the market to jump into like that kind of semi-industrial range, but the 6 and the 10 needle price points scare you, the persona is a great way to jump in. Knowing AllBrands, they have a killer price on it. So it's a great way to jump in and not feel overwhelmed financially. It's great for the quilter who also does embroidery. Again, it does free motion quilting. You can do all your embroidery, do your free motion quilting, all on the same machine. So there's a lot of bang for your buck here. If you have a 6 and 10 needle already, you're either a very like high level crafter and embroiderer and hobbyist, or you have a business. The persona is great because you can set it aside and let it be your cap only machine. So I'm going to show you, it's very fast, but it takes a little bit of time to switch out to the cap frame from embroidery. And some people, time is money for people who have a small business like this and an embroidery business. And, every second counts. So this machine would be great to tuck away, put your cap frame on it, leave it alone. That's your cap frame, or that's your cap machine. So it's awesome for that. So it really does kind of hit the whole market of people who want to jump in. Let me go ahead and kind of take you over to the persona now. Actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you some examples first. Sorry, Barbara. I'm just so excited. I'm all like excited about this. Okay, so here's some samples that I did. So this is a shirt that I've done. This is a marble shirt. This is from iBroidery. All the designs are from iBroidery, and I've got the little baby marble guys here. Aren't they cute? These are the little baby designs. What's really nice about this is another thing about this machine that's really amazing is you can stitch out Disney designs on this machine. What? Yes, you can. You cannot on the 6 and 10 needle. You can try to put a flash drive in there that has Disney designs, and it will not be accepted on the 6 or 10. However, it will be accepted on the persona. So if you have a Brother machine, and if you do and you're not familiar with it, there is a website called iBroidery.com. That's not embroidery, it's the letter I, broidery.com. It's a Brother exclusive website. And what you'll do is you'll sign up for free as long as you have a Disney machine or a Brother machine that will accept it. And you'll go on, you'll register your machine, you'll put all your machine information in there. And the reason why you do that is because the website, when you see a design, the website, you know how it's frustrating when you buy a design, those of you who embroider, and you realize that it's not going to fit your machine. And that's frustrating because now you've just spent money and you're like, oh, I can't do this. It's too big for my machine. Once you go on to iBroidery and register your machine, it will tell you when you have a design it tells you what machines are compatible with that design. And you have to choose your machine for that design, and it won't let you download it if it's not for your machine. So that's really amazing. There is a small charge for each of the embroidery designs, but what it is you get even more Disney, you get Marvel designs, you get freestanding lace, you get home decorating designs. Over 5,000 designs are on embroidery.com. So I highly encourage, if you're a Brother owner and you haven't gone to iBroidery.com, please do check it out. And if you have an embroidery machine, if you've already been there, then you know there's a lot of designs. A lot of the Star Wars designs, a lot of the Marvel designs, like I showed you on the shirt, the Marvel designs are all there. So what else can you do with this machine? So you can do applique, you can do, oh my gosh, again, embroidery, free motion quilting. Again, you can do Disney. Here's a little quilt that I did. This is one of the princesses, LeMay. All of this around the outside, the yellow border was free motion quilted by me, free motion. There's no pattern here. I did it all out of my head. This was all done with a persona. So all the feathers, that was all free motion quilted by me on the persona. So again, you could do your embroidery in the middle and then come on out to the borders and do your free motion quilting all on one machine. So amazing, amazing. This is some dancewear spandex, because those of you who know me know I love weird fabrics. I don't quilt with just usual fabrics. This is dancewear spandex that I backed with a little bit of fusible interfacing and then did some free motion quilting with the persona. This is like a little sampler that I did. Also, neon threads. Neon threads are my new favorites because they are so much fun. They look awesome on black material or white material. Those of you who are still going to the clubs, you could do your free motion embroidery and free motion machine quilting, and it will show up under the black lights. My days of clubbing are over and have been for a long time. But rock on, those of you who go. Here's some more dancewear spandex. I wanted this to look like hammered metal. So this is a gold dancewear spandex. Again, the spandex was backed with a fusible interfacing, and then I free motion quilted on top of that on the persona. Barbara talked about PE design. That's our digitizing software. Inside it is what I consider the best photo stitch software on the market. If you are looking to take a photo and turn it into embroidery, I'm telling you, photo stitch is the way to go. That's inside PE design. So if that's another thing that pushes you over the edge for this package, it's amazing. And I'm going to show you why. So I found a picture of a tiger online and downloaded it to PE design. And I didn't do anything. I just left it the way it was. I didn't play with the picture. I didn't play with the embroidery stitches at all, and stitched it right out on my machine. And there it is. These are all stitches. So this is all embroidery. This is not a picture. This is all embroidery stitching. That was all done on the persona as well. So also you could do applique. So if you combine your ScanNCut with the persona, you can also do applique. Now this is inside the luminaire. So again, these are available on iBroidery.com. So if you don't have the luminaire, you can still get these designs. These are Anna Altman designs that are built into the luminaire and available on iBroidery. These are applique designs. All of these little diamonds were cut on the ScanNCut. So those of you who have tried to cut these individually or using a rotary cutter, some people have arthritis. My hands are starting to get tight as I get older too, so I'm starting to have some issues with that as well. So I feel you. ScanNCut is a wonderful alternative. There are over 140 quilt patterns already built into the ScanNCut as well. So if you love to quilt, there are already patterns built into the ScanNCut that I'll show you once we head over there. But these were done, again, this was in the luminaire. Designs available on iBroidery. If you don't have a luminaire, these were all cut on the ScanNCut, and then all the placement stitches were done as well. And so it was all done on ScanNCut and then taken to my machine. So these are just some of the amazing things that you can do. You all, I know, are amazing. I know they're customers, and I know that you all have, I've seen your work. So all of you are just as creative and absolutely beautiful work. So
Jerry, you are so talented. I loved seeing all of your beautiful samples. And I gotta say, and Barbara and I are laughing in the background, Barbara Jones. She said, when you said embroidery club, and I was thinking the same thing. Doesn't AllBrands have black lights? We need to change the show. We need to make it more like a disco, right?
Yeah, put disco lights in there, get the whole colored lights going. I owned a nightclub for 10 years. I can set you up. I can tell you exactly what you need.
But But I love that sample. Can you show us that one more time? It's just so fun.
Which one?
The disco thread. The black and
white. The neon thread, yeah. I love neon threads. They're so much fun. Ta-da!
I'm oogling. So for those of y'all who don't know, we're not going to demonstrate it today, but the Persona does have an attachment where you can do free motion embroidery on it.
Yep. Maybe I can come back and show that. I think I did that on an earlier time with you guys, but if it's popular, I'd love to come back and show it off again. And I will use neon thread just for all of you clubbers and disco people out there.
You're always welcome on the show.
Exactly. I was also going to say, if at any time you want to jump in, it's going to be hard for me to demo and try to look at the comments as well and catch questions. So if there's any, I want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered. So if there are times where you want to jump in, please do.
I will be. So far, all you're getting is a lot of love from everyone that they love your projects. It's gorgeous. So yes,
I can't wait till we can get back to live events too. I can't wait to see you all again as well. So
me too. So the largest hoop is 8x8 on the Persona, Mary. But there is a split hoop by Durkee that when you use it in conjunction with digitizing software, it doubles the depth of that. So 8x16?
8x16, yeah. Then you could do like multi-hoopings and it'll plot the design for you. So yeah.
Good question.
It's a big, it's a good question. It's a big design field. All right, let's what I'm going to do is, Barbara, if you want to just give me a second, I'm going to switch my camera.
Barbara, let's see. Yes, Carol, the free motion attachment is only available on the Persona machine. So thank you for asking that question. And the PE Design 11 did the tiger through Photo Stitch, and that's a part of PE Design 11 digitizing, where you can scan in a photo and convert that photo to an actual embroidery design. There is also some other programs available. I think I'll link them in the below. But Brother does make a photo stitch software that's not the full PE Design 11. You ready, Jerry?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
All right.
Ta-da! Here we are over at the Persona. Now, I will say that I do not have a really big recording area, studio area. So if you just be patient with me, I'm going to have to move my camera and I'm going to be as slow as I can so that Barb doesn't have to send you all Dramamine. So, and I am in California. So if my camera starts shaking, I'm going to jump under a table because that means we're having an earthquake. So, so I'll try to be as easy as I can. But here's the Persona. Now, let me go ahead and just give you a quick tour. I'm going to raise my camera here. So there we go. I mean, that's really all there is to it. Your threading goes right in. Again, if you're familiar with the 6 and the 10 needle, this will be very familiar to you. It looks very similar. Also, I want to take you over to this side because the one thing the 6 and the 10 do not have is right up here where my finger is. That is an onboard bobbin winder. So if you are doing freestanding lace, you're probably going to want to match your top thread and your bobbin thread. You can do that there. You can wind your own bobbins. Yes, this does take pre-wounds as well. I like to use the pre-wounds. The magnetic pre-wounds are fabulous on this machine. So yeah, you can use those. You can wind your own, however you want to do it. The bobbin winder is on board for you. So let's kind of take a tour of the menu. Now, I know some of you may have this machine, so I'll try to keep up with you as well, but this is mainly for someone who may not have it. I'll try to throw in some little tips and tricks for some of you who may already have this machine, but it's going to be mainly for someone who does not. The one thing I love about Brother is how I know the phrase ease of use is used a lot, but Brother really kind of made that known. They try to keep things as simple as possible. Why? Because they want to make it fun. If it's too complicated, you're not going to do it, right? I'm that way with technology. I'm not the greatest with technology. And if it gets too complicated, I'm out. So Brother tries to keep it as simple as they can, and it's fun. So, I mean, look at the main screen here. That's it. That's all there is to it. Now, these designs here, just so you know, these designs are not single designs. These are categories. So you have all these categories to choose from. Now, we were talking about free motion quilting as well. That little icon is right here. It is grayed out now because I do not have the finger guard and I do not have the free motion set hooked up to my machine. So if I did, this would turn blue and I would be ready for free motion. Right in here, let's go ahead and just kind of take a tour of some of the things that you have here. You know what? I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see these just a little bit better. And then I'll refocus. There we go. So again, you have pages of embroidery. You don't just get
Mary, I do have a quick question from Karen Carr before you move on about that free motion kit. When you insert the spacer under the needle plate, to do free motion, do you have to take it out to go back to regular embroidery, or does it stay?
You know what, Karen? That's a great question. I keep mine in, and I don't have any problems whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I do have my spacer in right now, and I'm going to show you that you can embroider just fine with it in. So I do have my spacer in right now. For those of you who may not know what she's asking, there's a little spacer that they have you insert for the free motion quilting kit, and I just leave it in. I really do. And I'll show you how well that works. I'll show you the spacer, and then I'll show you how well it embroiders with it in. So back to our little tour here. So again, you have 3 pages of designs already built in. Can you add to this? Can you bring in a flash drive? Yes, you can. Over on this side, right here where my finger is, there is a USB port, and there's also a port if you wanted to plug in your computer directly. So that's nice options for you. Let's go back. We have some more designs to show you. These are great for borders. These are really nice border designs as well. I know it's a little hard to see, but I'm doing my best here. These are all quilting designs. So if you wanted to do quilting, there is some applique in here as well. I'm going to show you one of those designs in just a bit to show you how you could take this over to the ScanNCut, and you could cut out your applique designs with the ScanNCut. So that's a very cool feature. Now, these are large monograms. Those of you who are from the South, you know, I travel all over the country. So I go to the South a lot as well. I know y'all like to monogram. If you can put, you know, your dog and cat into an embroidery machine, you would monogram that dog and cat. I know you would, don't lie.
You know it.
I know how you are. These are large embroideries. So these are big letters. So let me just pick, my letter is J, so I'll use the J. And right up at the top here, it's going to tell you that it's 5.86 inches tall by 3.7 inches wide. So it fills, you know, my outline here, this is my 8x8 hoop, basically, right here. So as you can see, it almost fills the entire hoop. So these are big letters. So if you're into monogramming, these are wonderful. These are really popular with Brother. They're letters with like florals around it. They're really pretty. So we also have more of a kind of a lighter design with some like filigree and scrolls around it. We also have, I will have to say, as Barbara knows, about 3 months ago, we adopted an English bulldog from a bulldog rescue here in Southern California. And his name is Hercules, and you may hear him snoring or barking in the background. He's pretty much attached to me. I'm his person. So,
he's so cute, guys.
He's cute. He's got some things to learn. You know, with the rescue, you're never quite sure what you're going to get. So
his tongue hangs this far down from his face.
Yeah,
it's the thing.
Good boy. He's got a really good spirit, so he just has to learn. Okay, so now we're going to go over to this. These are fonts, and I'm going to show you how many fonts you're getting here. You get 2 pages of fonts, so you have a lot of options here for fonts, and you can make these large, medium, small. You can resize them. You can array them, which means you can make them curved, and I'll show you that in just a little while as well. And then these are frames. So again, if you're doing monograms, you can put a frame around your monogram, or you can put it around any kind of embroidery. So your categories are right up here at the top. It's on circle. I can choose a square, a diamond, an oval, and let me just pull one up here for you so you can see. So it's like a floral kind of, or a geometric kind of oval. And again, you can change these sizes. You have the ability to do that very, very easily. So really, that's it. That's all there is to it. Then down here, these are, if you have designs that are saved in your machine, this is where they're going to live. If you're bringing in from a USB, this is what you're going to touch. And I'm going to do that in a second. And then here, again, you can see a computer with the USB. So if your computer is directly plugged into the side here, this is where you're going to go to retrieve your designs from your computer. If you're not familiar with embroidery and you're considering it, here's one of my first tips. The first thing I want you to do is go on your computer, and I want you to create files that you can organize your embroidery designs right off the bat. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start collecting designs. The next thing you know, you're going to have about 200 embroidery designs, and you're not going to know where anything is. You're going to have cats, you're going to have Christmas, you're going to have florals, you're going to have Halloween. And it's all going to be mixed up. So be organized right from the beginning. And make sure you put those embroidery designs in files, like under Christmas or florals or pets or whatever. So there's my tip. Go ahead and organize right off the bat. You won't be sorry. Because I have, I won't even say how many I have, tens of thousands of designs, I think, and more than I will ever embroider in my entire lifetime. But you know how we are, we have to collect. So, all right, so what I want to do is show you that, again, you can bring in Disney designs here. So let me go ahead and grab one of my flash drives. This is just a regular flash drive. Now, I know some of you are going to ask, which flash drive do I use? This is just a generic one. Really, brother, you can bring in any flash drive that you want. There are some that don't work, but most of the time, if you stick to a quality brand, the only reason why you don't want to use one that's very large, that holds a lot, because you're going to get 1,000 embroidery designs on there, and now your machine has to try to find the one you want out of 1,000 designs. So I would say stick to like a 2 gig or 4 gig to start with. That way you can access your designs quickly. Your machine won't have to go through 10,000 designs. Ask me how I know. So let me go ahead, and I'm doing this by feel because I've done this so much. So I plugged in my USB. Now I'm going to go to my USB here. And here's my options. So if I had more than one on here, they would all be here. Again, this is why you want to keep things simple. You can see how quickly this came up. If I had, hundreds of designs, this would take a while to load. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and press that and set it. And there I am in my edit screen. Now let me go ahead and pull in just a little bit for you. This is, again, from iBroidery, and it's a Disney design. And I'm going to go ahead and pull in just a bit so you can see what it is. It's adorable. I love Winnie the Pooh. It's Winnie the Pooh laying on a balloon.
I have so many fond memories of Winnie the Pooh.
I know. I love Winnie the Pooh. Winnie's my favorite. But the balloon is applique. So what's really cool about that is, again, you can pull in something from iBroidery that is applique, and now you get to stitch it out. So it takes Disney, whereas the 6 and the 10 needle do not take Disney. So I want to go ahead and kind of get things started here. I gotta look for my sample. I can't remember where I put it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So let me tell you a little bit about what you're seeing here. So at the very top, hopefully you can see this. I apologize if you can't. It says 3.26 and 3.06. This is your design size. So it's 3.26, looks like tall by 3.06 width. And there's a little icon here that tells you vertical and horizontal. Here it tells you what hoops will fit this design. Down here, we have some editing options. Now, if you wanted to kind of get a closer look, there's a little magnifying glass here. So you can pull that design in. Now you can see the design a little better. Isn't that cute? So now we're going to pull back on that. And you can use the arrow keys now. You can move this design. You can move up and down. You can diagonally. You can position Winnie wherever you like. If you kind of want to get back to center, touch that center little dot. That will recenter your design. Now, what you're seeing over here on the right side, these are all your steps. So it's very hard to see. So I'm going to go ahead and pull you in just a little bit and then refocus. Now, if you look at the very top step, there's a little teeny tiny scissors. That indicates to you that this is an applique. and the next 3 steps are applique. So there's a placement line, there's a cut line, and there's an actual applique around. So that's kind of one way that you can tell that you're working with an applique. Also down here, this will tell you if you move your design, again here telling you how big your design is. If you move your design, watch how these numbers change here. So this tells you placement within the hoop. So you can really get accurate placement. Now down at the bottom, we have some editing options. So we have size.
Hey, Jerry, I have to say, it took me the longest time to realize that that middle dot is center.
Yeah.
I don't know why it took me so long.
Well, I know a lot of people will try to go back and forth and left and right trying to recenter. And I'm like, there's your recenter right there.
I do have one question from Ann Philbeck. She's wanting to know, do you know how many designs you can save to the machine at one time?
That's a great question. I do not know like the megabytes that it takes, how much it will hold. It's a lot. I've had a lot on this machine. I mean, we're talking like 100 designs I've had on this machine. So, you know, it really depends on the size of the design. If you have a lot of really big, heavy, dense designs, you know, that's going to take up more room than something like this Disney design here, which is a little bit lighter. So I don't know the exact number of that. That's a great question. I'm going to find that out. Thank you. I'm going to find out exactly how many what the size of the memory is here. So awesome. Okay, going on, we have a resize here. We also have a rotate. So if you wanted to rotate Winnie, you have 90 degrees, 10 degrees, and 1 degree left or right, depending on how you want your design positioned. So if you wanted him to go 90 degrees right, you could certainly do that. If you wanted him above a shirt pocket and your pocket happened to go this way, then you would want him to be rotated 90 degrees. So it all depends on your hooping and how you want that design to look. There he is upside down. Now he's on the left side. Now he's back to the top. If you didn't like it, again, you have a reset button here. So you could always touch reset and it will go back to your original placement. Here you can choose for your individual steps, you can choose what colors you want to assign it. You know, it's your project, your rules, but if you want Winnie the Pooh to be purple and you want his shirt to be blue, absolutely, you have the freedom to do so. So you could do that here. So you could change it here so you don't have to remember later, oh my gosh, wait a minute, I have to change over to purple. So you could do that here. Also, you can assign at the very bottom, I know they're small, they're hard to see, but you can also assign applique stitches to your designs as well. So you could turn your designs into an applique. Over here, we have border functions. So if you wanted to have more than one, I can't do it now because the design's too big, but if I had small designs, I could create borders and it would automatically do that for me. So I could have, if he was much smaller, I could have 5 or 10 Winnie the Poohs in a line. So if I wanted to like decorate my kid or my grandkids' sheets, if they happen to like Winnie the Pooh, I could do a nice little border design along the edge of the sheets. So that would kind of jazz up their sheets just a little bit. Here I can mirror, so I can flip Winnie either left or right, depending on what I wanted. I could make more than one if I wanted. So I could take Winnie. I could make a couple Winnies on there if I wanted to. But I'm going to delete the 1. So I'm back to my 1. And that's it. I mean, that's as simple as you can get. We also have some lettering fonts here. These are multicolor array and spacing. I'm going to get into those in a little bit after I do the after I show you the applique. So I'm ready to go now. So let's go ahead and touch embroidery. And now I'm in a whole new screen. So this is my embroidery screen. It's very similar to the last one, but you'll notice at the bottom, some of the icons have changed. So I can still rotate. I can add a basting stitch around there. I can trace a trace tool so I can see exactly where that design is going to stitch out. I can turn on a little like laser dot so I can see exactly where he's going to go. I can, on the fly, I can adjust my stitches per minute. So I can slow them down, the stitching. I can go from 400 to 1,000 stitches per minute. I usually stay kind of in the middle somewhere, right around 6 or so. just because I do. That's just my habit since day one. There's another one that I want to show you up at the top. It's a little hoop. And what that will do is, depending on the hoop that you chose, it will show you exactly what your design looks like in the hoop. Isn't that cool? So, and I can change my hoops here. So this is the 8x8. Here's what it looks like in a 5x7. Here's what it looks like in a 4x4. So I can see exactly what it is I want before I stitch it out. And again, I can still come in, and as you can see, it'll show you even the stitches. So that's how accurate this gets. So I'm going to keep him in an 8x8 because that's where I want to stay. And I'm actually ready to embroider. So what I'm going to do is pull out just a bit.
Jerry, that's so cute. And Candace, I agree. He is such a great teacher. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm still looking for that information for you, but I do know it's not limited by like a count of designs, but there's like a maximum amount of data. So if you have one design that's really huge, you may not be able to save like, a lot more after that. But
it's basically like your computer. Your computer can only hold so much data, and then it's full. So it doesn't matter what it is. But again, like if you're a person who collects a lot of pictures, that's going to take up more room than someone who does like maybe drawings or something like that. So.
Yeah, that's why, like Jerry said, we keep our design files very organized on our computer so that when we're ready to put them on USB and put them in the machine, they're ready, easy to find.
Absolutely. See, Tammy Cushman, you're already. I see your art brain going already. Would be cute to change him and make Winnie tumble across the top of the sheets and pillowcases. See, your art brain is going already. That's awesome.
Great idea.
Okay, so here I am at the machine now. So I know this is, try to ignore this, but it looks more complicated than it is. It's not. It's just I have a lot packed into my small area here. But these are the arms. So these are the embroidery arms that you have. Now, depending on the hoop that you're using, you may need to change this arm out. This is the A arm. This is your standard arm. There is a little sticker right up here. It tells you what arm you have on. And also on the hoop, it tells you what arm this is for. So there's no messing around. So if you have the B arm and you try to use the A hoop, it's not going to work. So again, they try to keep things simple for you so that it makes it really easy and fun. So all you do is just slide this under these little metal fingers right here and push. And it will snap into place for you. Now my microphone is right next to my hoop, so that probably sounded really loud to you. But I've got my bobbin in. I'm ready to go. I've got my thread automatically threaded. Also, there's an automatic needle threader. So I'm going to go over these here. This is your stop and start button here. This is your needle up and down. This is your thread cutter. And this is your automatic needle threader. So if you wanted to thread, if your thread came out, and we'll just say that it did, you're just going to touch your needle threader. You saw that come down. You're going to take your thread around the little fingers, around this little white part. It automatically cuts your thread for you to the right length. Retouch that icon and your needle is now threaded. Isn't that lovely?
I love that. I also love, Jerry, that it's so easy to tie off from the top of this machine because of the way that the thread stand is, and also that bobbin winder. My favorite.
Exactly. So if you were going to change thread, again, this is a single machine. So this is not a multi-needle. This is a single needle. So if you were going to change threads, you would do the old serger trick. So you would cut off the thread that you're using, tie on the new one, undo the thread just from the needle, and give a pull. And what will happen is your new thread will come up and down and around and right down here. And then just like I showed you, you're just going to rethread the needle automatically with the new thread. So it makes it very fast and very easy to do. Very simple. So that's how you're going to change your thread. That way you don't have to rethread the machine every time. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is touch my lock key. There's a lock key. This is a safety mechanism. So I don't advise you putting your fingers under here at all. So don't do as I do. Do as I say. Don't put your fingers under there. but this is a safety mechanism. So it will not move until you unlock. And now if you notice, the light is blinking green. That means you're ready to go. So what this is going to do, this is going to stitch out step number 1, which should be a placement stitch. This will be your balloon. It only takes a minute. It tells you it's only a minute. And it sings you a little song when it's done. And if you notice, it automatically cut my thread. It kept the needle automatically threaded, and it moved over to the next position. So this is a placement stitch. Those of you who are familiar with applique by machine and go to some of the parties that are out there, the embroidery parties, this will be very familiar to you. So this is a placement. This tells me where I'm going to place my my applique. Now this is, as you can see, this is just a scrap. These are great. This is why you want to save your scraps, because these are great for these small little appliques. So what I'm going to do is take my piece of fabric and cover that stitching completely. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure that that stitching is covered. It's automatically on step 2. This will now be what's called a tack down. This will now tack down my fabric on top of my applique, on top of my background fabric. Don't need to hold it. And there we go. That's done. So now what I'm going to do is I advocate you remove the hoop from the machine because it just makes it easier. But just for sake of time and for demonstration, I'm just going to do it in the hoop. Can you do it in the hoop? Sure. I have little duckbill scissors. These are wonderful for, I'm sure AllBrands sells these. These are wonderful for applique. What they do, the little duckbill gets under the fabric and it lifts it up so that you're not cutting your stitches. Now, what you want to do is cut up to the stitching, but not through the stitching. And quite frankly, if you cut a couple stitches, it's not going to matter. As long as the rest of them remain there. So there we go. You can see I'm cutting around. Now you go all the way around until you were finished, and then you would run your next step, and basically you're finishing your embroidery. You're stitching out all of your embroidery. Now I had a sample here. I don't know where it went. Barbara, where did my sample go?
A very good question. So I did, everybody, I put a link to our website for Duckbill Scissors. If you aren't using those for applique and you don't have the ScanNCut to cut out your applique stitch file, those scissors are amazing. I really love those.
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, he's still looking. Okay, well, let's see. Oh, I wanted to show everyone iBroidery.com. So I have that up on my computer. I am going to share that with you because this is where you go when you own a Brother Persona or Brother flatbed embroidery machine. You register your machine. You go to iBroidery.com and register your machine. And there's tons of Disney designs. You can see there's Frozen, Marvel, Star Wars. I mean, who knows what Disney's is going to get next, you know? But it's just wonderful what the Disney designs are provided for this Persona machine. And the fact that it has the tubular arm embroidery, you can get these designs on hard to reach areas, which is great. So let me try to find the screen that I have open, and we'll just look a little bit through there and get a little preview of some of the designs. Oh, look, we got a, let's see. We did get a question from Anne. Can you take it out and cut it out? Can you take it out and cut it and put it back into the applique? Anne, that is a great question. And we are going to talk about cutting fabric in a little bit. And basically, you can take that embroidery design file, that same USB stick that Jerry put in his Persona. You just put it in your Brother ScanNCut SDX digital cutting machine. I have the Disney version here behind me. That's the SDX 230D. He has the SDX 225F. But when you do an applique, cut file can be read on the ScanNCut. But I think that there may be some limitations for Disney, so just check the design for that. And Anne asks, thanks, Anne's the best question asker of the day. Is this compatible with Canvas Workspace? So yes, Jerry, and just confirm that because I haven't brought a design file into Canvas Workspace.
Yeah, it is compatible. Again, it's not wireless, so you can't send wirelessly to the persona, but you can put it on a flash drive. So you can customize all your designs on Workspace and bring them into your ScanNCut. And depending on the file, you can bring it into your persona. Now remember, like if you go to Embroidery, your ScanNCut's not going to be able to read a PEN file, but it can be read through the persona.
Got it. So there's 4 whole pages just of Disney, and then you can even drill down even farther on the other side of the screen. Like if you just want to see Aladdin or Moana, I have a love for Moana. And you can see just those designs if you want to drill down. So tons and tons of designs on the www.ibroidery.com. If you are a brother embroidery machine owner, please go to this website. I believe that sometimes they even have free downloads of designs there as well.
Sometimes they do. Yep. Well, I apologize. I had a really cute sample. I had a feeling when I got my other samples out, I must have tucked it away with those. So I apologize profusely. But I had a finished product to show you. But what I'll do is I will bring you up back here because I want to bring you back up to the screen. And I want to show you what you can do to personalize this. So let me refocus here. Okay, so now what I want to do is say we're all finished. And you're like, well, I like it, but I kind of want to personalize it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back. We're going to hit return. And now I'm going to go to the bottom. Hopefully you can see this. There's a word that says add. I want to add something to this. And what do you think I want to add? I'm going to add some lettering to this. I'm going to choose a font. That one's cute. And now I'm going to, let's just say Pooh. P. And now what I need to do is come down here because that's a little too big. So I'm going to make this a medium size. And it automatically adjusts. O. H. And now I'm going to, let's say I want to array that. So I'm going to just make it curve just a little bit up. And you can adjust that as well. I'm going to say, okay. I'm going to set that. And now I have some arrows. I can move the Pooh down. I've got spacing choices. I'm going to bring the spacing closer together. Move it over a little bit. Bring it down just a bit. Now, can you imagine this with a child or grandchild's name or niece or nephew? Or you could add names, you could add dates. You can make this a little bigger and you can add, have this be the medallion to a baby quilt. Have the name, the weight. I mean, just amazing things that you can do with this right here. So you've already got all of these fonts already included. Can you add more? Sure you can. Yeah, you can get fonts, embroidered fonts.
Yeah, BES4 I would definitely recommend if you're wanting to do a lot of monograms. Jerry, we had a really good question from Deborah Wright. Do Disney designs work on the Destiny 2 machine, which is a baby lock? And the answer is no.
You cannot do Disney on
only
baby
Brothers.
locks.
Yeah.
Only Brothers. Yep. Brothers, the only authorized machine to be able to do it. The only authorized company.
And you know what's so funny? We've had employees, actually several employees that worked at Disney World, and they, a few of them ran the Brother embroidery machines there in the shops. So it's really cool that they use Brother
They do. They use Brother 10 needle machines in their shops. When the educators get together for our yearly conference, sometimes we go different places. One year we went to Orlando, and we went to a place called Disney Springs where all the restaurants are. And they have embroidery shops in there, and they all had Brother 10 needles. It was really cool. One time somebody had a question about it, so I was like, oh, okay, we'll just do this and that. And they're like, hey, thank you. So, excuse me. So they use Brother 10 needles. So that just tells you the Persona has the same guts that the 10 needle has. So if they're running these commercially, like, and you know at Disney, they're running these things like 24 hours a day almost. They are workhorses. So this machine will last you a long, long time. So so I got my poo done, and I'm just going to touch embroidery. Off I go. There's all my steps. I'm going to run my applique steps, all of my embroidery steps, and then it will be done. And that's it. And that's all there is. Now this is kind of a traditional applique. It looks like, Barbara, I thought we were going to have an hour. It looks like we might go a little bit longer. I hope that's okay.
I hope that's okay with everyone. Everyone's loving the demonstration of the Persona, and we still have to talk about cap frame and ScanNCut. So
I know.
Let's keep going.
I said we got a lot to cover here. So, all right. So let me take the hoop out of the machine. All I'll do is just hold my fingers and lift and pull, and that's all there is to it. Now we're going to talk about caps, and what I have to do is I have to remove this arm, and in the back here, there are large screws. You just want to unscrew those. And we'll just sing a little song while we're doing that. Just unscrew those. And the arm just pops right off. Just lifts right off. And that's it. Now, let's talk about the cap frame for just a little bit. This is a little bit different. There are some components to the cap frame, and I'm going to come down here. I apologize, you might have to look at my knees, but hello. So this is what's called the jig. Now this is what helps you get your cap exactly where it needs to be. This jig can either, as you can see, I've got it on my sewing table here, and I have my Persona on my sewing table. So that's what's nice about this machine. It doesn't have to be on a stand, but there is a stand that you can get for this machine. There's also a place for the jig on the stand. So it's really nice to have the stand. So let's talk about the mechanics of this now and how this all works. So what I want to talk about first is there are a couple components to this. This is what's called the driver. This is what's going to go on your machine, and it lets your machine know that you are going to be doing caps. So if we look up at my screen, it's going to want me to move my, there's Hercules in the background. FedEx must be here. Okay. So if you look up at the top, right now what we have is a series of hoops. Well, I'm not going to be using hoops, right? I'm going to be using a cap frame. So I don't want to use a hoop. However, the machine is automatically going to sense that I have a different hoop on when I put the cap driver on. So let me show you how this works. Now there's two little screws here, and I'm going to be undoing these. But just to keep everything together, I'm just going to slide this on. In the back, you heard a ding ding. That's fine. My machine is letting me know that there's something going on.
So Jerry, this is the Brother flat brim cap frame that you're using, but there's actually two separate cap frames that are compatible with this machine. And when you purchase this, you do have the option. You have the option to pick a free item, and you can get either one of the cap frames or the stand or a trade-in. There's just tons of options on our product page for allbrands.com for this. So this is the flat brim, and I think your puppy was barking at the delivery man because that PRCF3 just came in the mail, but this is the PRCF5.
Yeah, I apologize. I was supposed to get the cap frame. One of our educators sent it to me that she had to use, but she's in Ohio and they're getting like 200 feet of snow. So I think FedEx is a little behind, which is okay. So I was going to have it here, but I do have the flat brim cap frame. This is a new frame which is really nice because it allows, flat brims are really big right now, but you can use it with the regular cap frame and they work very similarly. So you can see very quickly, I have this driver on already. And so all I have to do now is load the cap. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I got to find some room here. Now I'm going to go back down to my driver. Whoop.
I'll come in so they don't get seasick, but the PRC F5 is the Brother flat brim cap frame, and the PRC F3 is the standard cap frame for the Persona machine.
Correct. And so now we're using the flat brim, but it'll work with a regular cap. So what I want to do is I'm going to, now this is a jig, so this just helps me load the cap. So I've got a couple parts here. I know this looks like a medieval torture device. It is not. This just snaps right on very simply. And now what I have is there's a couple little tabs here. And so all I want to do is take some stabilizer. In this case, it all depends on your hat. So if you notice, I tuck the stabilizer down into right underneath the little tabs. There are also some teeth here. So I'm just going to go ahead and push the stabilizer down into the teeth. Now it depends on your cap. Some of your caps may have very stable and sturdy fronts. Some may have no stabilizer at all. So you just have to look at what you have. Now on my cap, my sample cap here, this is just cloth. So there's no stabilization at all. So in my case, I'm going to use a cutaway because it's a little bit heavier stabilizer. Now my sample cap, and I'm going to show you how to do this. This is with Puffy Foam. With Puffy Foam. This has stabilizer already in it. It has like a hard area, and you can see the difference between these two sections. So this is already a firm front. So in this case, I would probably use a tearaway, which I did. So that's the difference between the two. So all I'm going to do is tuck that stabilizer in. I'm going to put my cap frame brim up. So it's centered-ish. And I say ish because we can center it.
I love your cap. That is super cool.
Thank you. Just a real inexpensive little blank that you can get. And now I'm just going to slide the two ends in. I'm going to match, I know it's a little hard because it's black, but there's a seam here. I'm going to match my seam with my center line. And actually, it takes more to talk than it does to do. I'm going to push down. You can kind of hear it cranking in there. And now my hat is in. So what I'm going to do is pop this out. And I'm ready to put this onto the driver. So I'm going to very slowly bring my camera
I'm going to come into the screen while you do that, Jerry. But the PRC F5 and PRC F3, if you do have a 10 needle or a 6 needle machine already, those are compatible with all three, the Persona, the 6 needle, and the 10 needle for both of those style of hoops. There is a wide cap frame that's available for the 10 needle that will not fit the Persona.
That's correct. Yeah, I tried it. You know, I'm an educator, so we always have to try everything. So I tried to make it work and it won't work. So the wide brim, but every other cap frame will work. Okay, so now what I've done is I've taken my little clips and I've clipped them over to the side. So what we have here on the side of the frame is a little loop, and you're just going to take your hat, the bottom of your cap, and place it over that loop, and then you're going to just take your little clip and clip it into place. And that just kind of holds the sides a little bit more firmly. Now this is stable in place. This is ready to go. So all I'm going to do is turn my brim to the side, slide my frame in, and it will just snap right into place. And see, that's not moving. So I'm ready to start embroidering. I mean, it took longer for me to explain it than it does to actually do it. So let's go back to our screen here. Come back up, because now I need to choose a design. Let's see what we have in here. The B pocket, I might have to switch out. Yeah, I'm going to switch out my USB to a different one. And I can do this by feel. Go back, USB. There we go. There's the J. Why do I keep knocking things over, Barbara, when we do this? So
I thought that was your puppy.
Oh, it was. It was the puppy. Yeah, that's it. There. So there's my J. Now, if you notice, there is a little, hopefully, let me scoot in a little bit more. There is a rectangle around my J. This tells me this is the area that I have to embroider in. And if you look at the top, it tells me that there's a cap frame in already. So just make sure everything's in there. And I'm ready to embroider. Now what I'm going to do is press set at the bottom. Now again, I have these options to edit everything that I need to do if I want to, but I'm happy with that, so I'm ready to go. Now I'm going to touch embroidery and watch what happens to the J. It automatically flips upside down and a little cap shows at the top. That tells me that I am ready to go. Why did it flip upside down? Because my brim is, I need it that way, right? Because my brim is faced this way. So I need this to be upside down, and it does that automatically. I don't have to think about it. So now what I'm going to do is take a little piece, and I'm going to scoot in a little bit closer so you can see. This is a piece of Puffy Foam. If you're not familiar with this is sort of a medium. There's like a real thin version. There's a medium version, a real thick version. Either one works well. I'm using the medium one here. This is just regular Puffy Foam. Now, this is made for embroidery, so I would suggest you not go to a craft store and use that Puffy Foam. This is made just for embroidery. It's a little bit softer, a little bit more pliable, so it makes using Puffy Foam really easy.
Yeah, and Jerry, I
also
actually
suggest that you match.
in the description of this video, so if you click the down arrow underneath the video that you're watching, there's a description section, and that will show you all of the links for the products that we're talking about today.
I'm sure AllBrands sells Puffy Foam, or they can get it. So here's the Puffy Foam, and all I'm going to do is just place it right on my cap. I'm going to hold it. You know, you could use spray basting if you want to. I just hold it usually, and I'm going to unlock. And you do want to kind of match your foam if you can. It does come in multiple colors. Match your Puffy Foam to the outside of your embroidery. Now, I do want to talk about Puffy Foam embroidery. A lot of people think that you can just use Puffy Foam behind any embroidery, and that's not necessarily true. If I were to have a really heavy, dense design here, what would be the point of having Puffy Foam? Because it wouldn't puff up at all. You really do want to use an embroidery design that is made for Puffy Foam. That way, all of the tension is set for you. It automatically works really, really well. Unless you have, like, you could do like an applique with Puffy Foam because there's nothing in the middle. So the whole point is to puff everything up, correct? So this is what we want. So now I'm just going to unlock. Just let it do its thing. Also, a reason why you want to use an embroidery made for Puffy Foam is because it usually has a very tight satin stitch on the outside. So what that does is it sort of does an automatic cutting for you. Those satin stitches are so tight that it automatically cuts your foam.
I love that. It's magic. We have a really good question that just came in from D. Clark. She asks, how large is the design field on caps?
Caps it usually is about 2 by 4 inches or 2 by 5 inches, depending on your frame. But with this frame, it's about 3 by 5.
Great.
So you can get a really nice design. Now, the nice thing about the flat brim cap frame is you can get about 35% closer to the brim. So
that brings me to my next question. Stay Unique Printwear 2 asks, how close can you get to the brim?
Well, let me show you, because I don't think I'm all the way down yet. Let me unlock and then cut my thread, because I do have a sample ready for you. You can see it back here. Okay, so we'll say, let's get to that in a second. So let's say we are all done. All you have to do is grab your frame, give it a little tug, turn it, and off you go. Now you're just going to unlock your cap frame, take your clips off, take your frame out, And there you go. So I've just taken it apart, and there's the, I'm going to pull out just a little bit. Bear with me. Pull out just a little so you can see it. So there's, we'll say that this is my finished product. Now you can see how close it is to the brim. I could have come down more as well. So I can get 35% closer with this frame than I could with the regular frame. But this is about where you'd be with the regular frame. So, I mean, it's still right in the middle. So let's say this is all finished. So how do you get rid of the foam? Well, all you do is you just very gently give a little tug, and you can see that that just peels right away. So on my finished example, you can see it's a very clean edge all the way around. This is now puffy. It's sticking up just a little bit. If I were to have a thicker one, it would stick up even more, but you can kind of, hopefully you can see like a three-dimensional edge to that. Another thing you could do is just a little tip. If for some reason you're seeing some foam sticking out on your edges, you could hit that with very gently with either a heat gun set on low or a hairdryer set on low. You don't want to add excessive heat to this because it will shrink the foam incredibly. Yes, you can wash this. I suggest on like cold delicate, and then maybe like an air dry or just a very low dryer. But yeah, if you're seeing little edges, little pokies, you can hit that with a heat gun or a hair dryer, and it will sink all of those back into your stitches. But isn't that nice? And then even the back is just really nice too. It's just real. Try to open this up just a little bit for you so you can see the inside. Beautiful.
It's such a great look to it. It just makes it look so professional.
And this was, I mean, you saw how easy that was. It was just simple. You could do this very quickly. And if for some reason you wanted to have a business, open an Etsy store or something, these sell like crazy. People want their initials on stuff, especially in the South, Barbara. As you know, in Louisiana, people go crazy for this stuff. So,
hey, y'all.
So I always like to tell people with embroidery, don't just look in the front, because most of your machines are going to look pretty good on the front. Look at the back. Look at how your machine finishes the back, because that's going to tell you the quality of your machine and how it's going to hold up over time with washings and things like that. What you're seeing here is exactly what you want to see. Very clean back. You want to see a little bit of that top thread pulled into the bottom, so that the edges on the front are nice and clean and you don't see the bobbin thread. So this is exactly how you want to see it. If you're not seeing this on your embroidery machine, then there's an issue. So I didn't touch any of this. I didn't play with this at all. This is the machine at default, and it automatically did a beautiful job for me.
Jerry,
yes,
that's amazing. Thank you so much. I don't want to forget that we did get a question earlier. If you could demonstrate how easy it is to tie off and pull through for thread changes on this machine.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I can, I'll try. I'll try.
I'll come into the screen, and y'all keep up the questions. They're great questions. And we have the master here with us. So
I'm trying to see my best. Oh gosh, I can't handle that pressure. Here, let me go with this.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Ready?
I think I'm all set. So I'm going to grab a new spool of thread, because let's just say I'm finished with this one, which technically I am. Oh, you're seeing my new show quilt over here. I can't show you that. No.
Gorgeous.
Off to the left, little sneak peek. Okay, so this is an old, those of you who are familiar with the older sergers, this is an old tie-off trick. And this is one that you'll use to thread this machine as well. So I've got my new...
Oh, hey, Jerry.
Yes,
I know, because my favorite thing is the top part that's just out of the screen that makes it so easy to change, to like place your stitch in. And then there's two spools at the top. So you can have your other one ready to go and just tie off and pull through. There we go.
Yeah, so there's the top of it. So you can see how it's threaded. Again, this shows you how to thread your machine. This would be for if you wanted to wind a bobbin. It's the same on all Brother machines, even this machine as well, the semi-industrial. To thread your machine, you're going to follow the solid lines. To thread your bobbin, you're going to follow the dotted lines, and that's true on all Brother machines. So, okay, let's go ahead and show you how to tie off here, or how to change threads. So I've got my old thread here. I'm just going to snip it right at the spool. Take that off. I'm going going to take my new thread. Now you can tie however many knots that you want in whatever fashion that you want. I like to keep things simple because I want to do this quickly. When I'm embroidering, I'm just going to put the two pieces of string together and I'm going to tie a knot. Just a very simple, just an overhand knot. And I will do that again. So there we go. I just have a very simple double knot there. I will let that go. And then I'm going to come back to the machine. So Barbara, if you want to.
Covered. Hey, Kevin, thank you for watching from Maryland. Good to see you. And
Kevin, I lived in Naples for 10 years when I was at the Naval Academy Band. So I love Maryland. I miss Maryland. I love that state.
Wonderful.
Okay, so here we are. So I am back at the needle. So all I have to do is take the thread. I'm going to grab the shaft of the needle and just pull that thread out from the needle. And then I'm going to just pull. And watch what happens. Here's where the magic happens. Let me go slow. There's my knot. And there's my new white thread. So all I have to do is put it back on the little notch in the back. Touch my needle threader. There it is. Come around those little fingers like I showed you earlier. Touch the needle threader again, and I'm now threaded with my new thread. That's as simple as it is. And you can do that over and over and over again. It's very simple. It just works really, really well. And now my new thread is already in the machine. So I'm ready to go.
Thank you, Jerry. Thanks for taking a little detour with us to accommodate that.
Sure. I'm there for you. Whatever you need, I'm there. So now I'm going to take the driver off. So if you have something you want to say, Barbara, you could do that.
Oh, yeah. We're getting a lot of questions now about ScanNCut that we are going to transition to during this video. So don't worry about that. We have folks asking about the quilting designs in the ScanNCut, and there are tons of quilting designs in the SDX 225F and SDX 230DX, and I'm sure Jerry would be happy to show you some of those whenever we
we're heading over there right now, as a matter of fact, because I want to show you how to do it.
Here's one question from...
What needle size is this? Okay, good question. I'm using a 9014 only because I'm working with a cap, and sometimes those seams can be a little thick inside a cap. So I usually transition over to a 9014, but most of the time I'm using a 7511, really. I mean, just that's 90%. It's only when I'm going through like heavy things like denim and, and we don't stitch on denim every day. I suppose if you had a business, you would. But, I use 7511 for just about everything. So I do want to show there's a new thing that is out now. This is a new tubular support frame table. And what this does is you're just going to, there's a little lever back here, as you can see, and it makes this little table pop out. And what it does, you just slide it over the free arm, let go, and it automatically magnetizes and holds on. And what this does is you can pull this out now. This is great for when you are embroidering on sleeves or jeans. And this is a support table. This is not a frame. You still have to hook up your fabric. But this is awesome because a lot of the time your jeans will hang down when you're embroidering on them and there's no support. This tubular frame or table gives you that support. So it will hold those sleeves and jeans for you. So they're not.
So that's an optional accessory, the tubular frame.
It is. All right. I'm going to head over to the ScanNCut now, Barbara.
Great. Okay. Y'all have to deal with me for just a moment. So don't forget, everyone, we are doing a giveaway at the end of this presentation. So be sure to get your likes, your comments, your shares, and your subscribes in to be eligible to win a $100 AllBrands.com e-gift card at the end of this broadcast. So, we have some more questions coming in.
Questions are rolling in.
Okay, so Lori has the NQ3600D, which is a very exciting machine.
I love that machine.
Yes, it's very great. It's a combination sewing and embroidery machine that is a 6x10 embroidery area, and she's asking if you can embroider photos on it. So with any Brother embroidery machine, if you have a digitizing software like Brother PE Design 11, that has the photo stitch capabilities, you can create your own designs to fit your existing hoop frame size. So up to 6x10, you would be able to do, Lori, on your NQ3600D.
Right.
Oh, no, not 6x10. That one's 6x12, right?
6x10.
It is 6x10. Okay.
Yeah.
The VM is the 8
You're
by
the V.
12.
Yeah.
All right. Look at that. ScanNCut. Here we go.
We are over at ScanNCut now. Again, this isn't going to be a class. I'm just going to do kind of a brief overview and show you some of the things that we can use in conjunction with our machines. Isn't this cute? Isn't this cute? This is a little USB holder that we got from Brother. Isn't that cute?
So cute.
Okay. So I don't know why I showed you that. I just
Before we transition, I did get a really good question from Mary on that tubular frame.
Yeah.
Can you get that for the PR1050X? Yes, that is compatible with the Persona, the 6 needle, and the 10 needle. That tubular arm that Jerry showed.
Yeah. So again, if you have a 1050 or a 10 needle, then or a 6 needle, and you wanted to add this to your arsenal, the Persona to your arsenal, it all fits. So not all, but most of the hoops will work. The frame, that tubular table will work. So it's really awesome that you're able to use what you have on your new machine. So here we are at the ScanNCut now. I love this machine because you can do applique with it. Here, let's just do a quick little view. I might be Barbara. I might be hitting Lewis's record.
You got about 40 more minutes to go till you hit Lewis's record.
Okay. So let's go through here. Okay, so let's choose pattern. Now you have a choice of shapes that you can choose, and I mean we're talking just a myriad of shapes here, pages of shapes that you can cut. What can you cut? Why do you need a cutting machine? Let's go over that first. Again, my hands are starting to tighten up as I get older too. I'm starting to get some arthritis in my joints. So having the ScanNCut is awesome for cutting out my applique, cutting out my quilt pieces. Again, it's called ScanNCut, so I can scan in designs and cut them out. So if I have a quilt pattern that's to size, I can place it on the scanning mat, scan it in, and then change over to my regular mat and cut out all of my pieces there. So it's wonderful for that. It will cut up to 3 millimeters. So it will cut your leather, faux leather, paper, fabric, oh gosh, styrene. It will even cut balsa wood. Yes, balsa wood. Especially with the new auto blade technology, it automatically senses how thick your material is on the mat, and it will adjust the cut to that automatically. So let's go through some of the categories here. I mean, aren't these cute? These are just the cutest little designs. There's also optional designs that you can get as well, and optional collections as well. Here's some little more lacy designs. And now let's go down, because here's where your quilt blocks are going to live. And you can kind of see there's Sunbonnet Sue. Here's some quilt blocks. Again, these are categories. These are not just singular designs. So depending on your skill level, I mean, if you wanted to do something a little easier or something with more squares and triangles, here you go. There's your shoe fly, Bearpaw, basket quilts. I mean, these are pages, folks. These are these are pages of quilt designs. Now, these are already cut to size. So once you choose a design, it will automatically, you can choose the size. This just happens to be 8. You could make this 12 inches, a 12-inch block if you want.
Jerry, I have a few questions coming in, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Cindy asks, great for cutting fabric with the new fabric mat, which I'm sure you'll show as well. How do you keep
Absolutely.
your fabric from fraying when you remove it from the mat? So that would be to pre-treat your fabric with Terrial Magic that we have on our website, and I'll include the link below. And
Yep.
Pat asks, design with multiple colors. So can you explain why in the image there's different colors in that quilting pattern?
That's a good question. It's just showing you are not limited. I'm going to try and get this like straight on so you can see a little better there. There you go. That's a great question. They are just showing you just the design possibilities and all the shapes. If this were all just one color, it would be hard for you to distinguish exactly what that quilt block is. So again, you are not bound to the colors that they give you. You can choose whatever you want. They're just giving you an example so that you can see all the pieces. So I hope that answered your question. So here we got the block. We can adjust it to whatever size we want. I'll just keep it at the default. And here it breaks it all up into all the parts. So it's got all, this is again why there's so many colors, because now you can see all the parts. I'm going to try and scoot in a little bit more. Oh, Hercules saw something there. So let's just say I want to do one of the triangles. I would just choose it. And what's really nice is when you choose a shape, it automatically highlights where that shape is in the quilt block. So I can touch any shape. And if you notice, it's telling me exactly where that is. So I can adjust my fabric for whatever color that I want. So isn't that nice? So let's just say we're going to do the triangles. So we're going to say, okay, this tells me exactly how big that shape is. And let me zoom in just a little more because I want to show you. There we go. Come down just a little bit. If you notice, it's putting the 1/4 inch automatically around it. So the shape that you see, remember when it said that this block was 8 inches, that was including the 1/4 inch seam allowance. So it automatically puts that 1/4 inch there for you. Now I can choose, if I'm doing a lot of these blocks, I can just crank out all these. I can put 10 in here if I want to. And I can get all these shapes cut out. But we'll just say I'm doing this one. There's my mat. Now I can adjust the number if I want to. And if I'm ready to go, I just touch OK. And then cut. And it will cut that out for me. I don't have a mat in there, so it's not going to do it.
Ooh, we got another good question,
yes.
Jerry. So I wanted to show everybody, this is how I pre-treat my fabric. I really enjoy this product called Terrial Magic. It stiffens the fabric. And our next question from Cindy and Jenny is about the seam allowance.
Yeah. What's the
Include the 1/4 inch seam allowance.
Yes, it does. It does. You could go into settings and you can eliminate that too. So if you just wanted a triangle, but then you could just go into shapes and choose a triangle. But yes, you can make that seam allowance whatever you want. They assume since you've chosen a quilt block that you're going to use a 1/4 inch. So it automatically adds that to your quilt blocks. But again, you can go into settings and get rid of it, or you can make that seam allowance bigger if you like. It's all just what you want. So let's just go through some of this menu here because I want to show you it's not just a cutting machine. Yes, it'll cut. It will also draw. There is it comes with it. There's a marker kit and there is a holder, and you can draw your shapes, or you can draw your fonts or your lettering, whatever you want. You can emboss. So if you have thin metal, it will emboss for you. You can do foiling. So if you like to do gold or silver or bronze or copper foil, you can do that as well. And it will also pierce. So what's really big now is paper piercing. So it puts tiny little holes in your design and it will pierce a shape for you. So it really looks really cool. So it's not just cutting. So it's very versatile for what it can do. Most of the time we're going to be cutting, but I tell you, if you've ever gone to a big box store and you've paid $10 for one of those 3-dimensional cards that have all the crystals on them, once you make one on your ScanNCut, because you can do all that, and you can sew on your card as well. So you're going to cut out all your pieces. You're going to put your card together. You're going to add your crystals. You're going to bring it over to your sewing machine, and you're going to possibly sew some of the elements down to give it another little touch or add some zigzag stitching. And people are going to freak out when they get your card because they're going to think you spent a lot of money, and you're going to say, no, I made that. And they're saying, I get that. And now you've just started a business.
Exactly. And Jerry, we had some really good, Tammy says she got hers for Christmas, having a blast. That's awesome. Gwen says you can do your signature on it. That would be fun. Also, let's see, Tammy asks if you can machine draw your paper piecing. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It also comes with water-soluble markers. It comes with a purple air dry marker or a blue washout marker. So if you're used to using those tools, it comes with them as well. So I'm going to pull back just a bit, Miss Barbara.
Doing that. Anne just asked a very good question. She's been using hers for cutting vinyl. She just bought the Playbook, which is now available online. We have them. It's called the ScanNCut Playbook. I'll put the link down below, but it is a step-by-step tutorial of different projects and video instruction in depth on ScanNCut.
And that was put together by one of our educators and brother ambassador, Cindy Hogan. If you're familiar with Cindy, Cindy is like the computer queen. She is the software queen and the ScanNCut queen. She put this book together. If you own a ScanNCut, and I hear so many of you at shows and events that say, I have my ScanNCut, I haven't taken it out of the box. Get the Playbook. I'm telling you, you will use it. It's, there's one for the Luminaire as well. I call them the manual on steroids because the manuals can be very dry and they tell you the what about the machine. In other words, they tell you, everything that's technical about it and what you need to know to get it set up and all the technical stuff, but it doesn't really tell you how to use it and what to use it for. The Playbook it gives you projects. You have all sorts of projects that you can use, and Cindy gives you the why. So, the Playbook is the why. So you learn the how and the what in the manual, and now you're learning the why with the Playbook. So you're covering all the bases. Plus, there's really cute projects in there as well. And there's videos that go along with each of the projects. So there's a little USB card that you'll plug into your computer, and you can watch videos as you travel along on your project. So it's just incredible. If you have a ScanNCut, I'm telling you, get the Playbook. You will not be sorry. I usually don't make guarantees, but in this case, I guarantee that you're going to love it. So I was talking earlier about drawing. So I want to show you the markers that come with your ScanNCut. And here's the little holder that comes with it as well. So you just open this up, and you'll place your marker inside, and then you'll put it in your holder in your machine, which I'll show you here in just a minute, and off you go. We were talking about quilt stuff earlier. It's still in the package, but this is a blue washout marker and a purple air marker. So those are in your kit as well that come with your ScanNCut. So that's awesome as well. If you're into drawing, there's an optional thing called the universal pen holder. What this does is you can put your permanent markers in there. Any marker that will fit in that hole, you can use this as your pen. So you'll just, this automatically levels the pen for you. You'll just tighten it in and take this over to where your cutter is, and it will draw for you using your own markers. Again, as long as they fit within that. I believe it's 7.8 millimeters to 9.6 millimeters. So the diameter of your pen. That's universal pen holder. So that's an awesome piece to have as well. But let's talk about cutting, because that's kind of why we're here. So let me go back to my home page. I'm going to delete all the patterns. And I'm going to take one of my flash drives and place it into my machine. I'm going to retrieve the data. Right down here. And here's some options here. So I can go wirelessly from ScanNCut or from Canvas Workspace. I can save designs to the machine, USB, or my computer. Those plugins are all there for you. So I'm going to go to my USB and my B pocket.
Did you see that PES file in there, everybody? That's exciting.
Don't steal my thunder.
Sorry,
So,
sorry.
overhead, but that's okay. So I want to show you. Remember, I said you could use this in conjunction with your with your persona. Oops, I'm a little off center there. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. Okay, so I know it looked like I was having an earthquake. So this is a design that was found in the persona. And remember, I told you earlier that I was going to show you how you could use this in conjunction with your ScanNCut. This is a design that I used. So all I did is I took the design from the persona, downloaded it to a flash drive, put the flash drive into my ScanNCut. It automatically found it on my flash drive, and there's the design. So all I'm going to do is take and touch this icon right here, which is going to show all of the cut files. Now, the design on the inside here is all of the applique. This is the applique section. Those of you who are quilters will know this as Hawaiian quilting. This is kind of the design that it is. I'm going to touch that icon and look at here. Right up here, I'm going to touch OK. I can adjust the size, and I'm going to set it, and here's my design. This is going to be cut out by my ScanNCut automatically, and I can then add it to my hoop on my persona. And since it's automatically the same size, I can stitch around that automatically. So, I mean, it's just incredible how you can bring a design from the persona over to the ScanNCut, and you can cut out your designs. Imagine how long this would take to hand cut. I mean, that's very tedious. In one whack, you can cut that out on your ScanNCut. So let me show you something else as well. Let's get out of there. So let's go back to retrieve data. Let me find, I think it's on my other, yes, it's on my other hard drive, my other flash drive, which is right here. Let me put that in my machine. Because those of you who own luminaires, one of the bundle packages that you got was a ScanNCut at one point. You were able to get a ScanNCut. And I hear a lot of you at events, I've got my luminaire, I love it, but I don't use my ScanNCut. It's been in the box. Shame on you. Get that out. And I'm going to show you why.
So much fun. It's so fun.
I'm going to show you why. So I have a design on my flash drive in the B pocket. And I'm going to scoot over because I have my luminaire set right behind me, right here. There's my luminaire. I've chosen to design, this is a built-in design from my luminaire. And all I did is I saved it to memory, but then I took it to a flash drive. I just saved it to a flash drive. That's all I did. I just saved the design to the flash drive. Now I'm going to come back to my ScanNCut. And all I did is I put the flash drive into the ScanNCut, and look what I have. It automatically showed up. Now, this design on the luminaire is a buttonhole. It is not an applique design. Isn't that amazing that we can take any embroidery design that is PES or PHX and bring it into our machine, and it will automatically turn it into a cut file? Isn't that amazing? I think that's incredible. So this is not a cut file in the luminaire. It's just a standard buttonhole embroidery design. So let me show you. I'm going to touch it. There's my design. I'm going to, oops, it's not, just to show you, that's usually what you touch for cut line. This pattern does not contain cutting line data for appliques. That shows you that this is not a cut file. But once I touch this, and look at how it broke it up into all these pieces. Ta-da! It is now a cut file. And there it is on my mat. So I can now take what was an embroidery design only, and I just turned it into a cut file. The ScanNCut did that automatically. I did not have to adjust anything. All I did was brought the embroidery design in, and poof, I have a ScanNCut design.
Jerry, I'm sorry. I got muted because I'm like wooing in the background because it's so exciting. Like that you don't have to take your scissors out and cut far away from your tack down stitch, and it's not going to peek out of the edge of your applique, and it's just you're going to place it in place, and it's going to be perfect.
Exactly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a mat. Well, first thing I'm going to stay with my screen here because I'm going to show you, well, what if I just want one of those? I don't want two of them. I just want one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into edit. As you can see, there's a red line around the design. That means it is all grouped together as one. So if I move this, they all move as one. So what I'm going to do is go into Object Edit. I'm going to turn off grouping. Watch what happens. Poof, I now have two individual designs. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to ungroup those. And watch what happens. I've ungrouped it, so now I have two individual designs. So I still want one. I'm going to keep going. Notice the little trash can. Whatever has a red box around it is selected. I'm going to touch the trash can. I want to delete the selected data. Poof, I'm down to one. That's simple. So I'm ready to cut. So I'm going to get a mat ready, Miss Barbara. So if you want to just kind of do a quick little.
Oh, I'm here. We have a lot of folks that are saying, woo, they're so excited about their Luminaire, purchasing a Luminaire tomorrow. Yes. So for those of you who missed it, it's National Embroidery Month with Brother, 60 months, 0% financing. You get the bag set, you get PE Design 11, you get Angela Wolf's masterclass. That's a virtual masterclass. And you get, oh my gosh, from AllBrands, you get a Brother NS80 sewing machine. And from Brother, there's a rebate for a serger. And that goes from now until February 27th. So take advantage of National Embroidery Month. Is that the new fabric mat that I see?
Oh, look what I'm using. I am using the brand new Brother fabric mat. This is brand new. Those of you who are familiar with ScanNCut will know that you had to use a standard mat before, and you had to add the fabric applique sheet to this. That could be a little tedious because you usually got wrinkles. It didn't quite go on straight. This has it on there for you, so you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to figure it out at all. So now I've got a little piece of fabric that I'm going to use, and all I have to do is place it on my mat. I don't think I adhered this down very well, so we'll see how this cuts. This could be a user error. I am using a brayer. This is a Brother brayer, and what this is just a little rubber roller, basically. Now, here's a tip that I like to tell people. The mats all come with these plastic films, clear plastic films. When you are pushing your paper down or pressing it to the mat, put your sheet, your acrylic sheet over the top of it. That way, when you are pushing down on whatever it is you want or adhering it to your mat, you're not getting your finger oils all over here, and it's not sticking to you. So you're getting a nice clean surface. There we go. I'll see how this cuts because I don't think I ironed this very well. So that was my fault. So now, how is my machine supposed to know exactly where this design is supposed to go? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to my screen. I'm going to go very slowly. And I'm going to push OK because that's the design that I want. And there's a little icon right here. It's a little scanning icon. It looks like a scanner. I'm going to touch that. And then I'm going to touch Start. Let me get everything out of the back. My machine. I'm going to touch Start. And what's going to happen is there is a scanner built into this machine, and it is scanning my mat. This is so magical, I can't even hardly breathe. I'm so excited by this. Okay, and look what we have. I'll try to get closer in there. If you look right up here, this is my fabric. So now I know exactly where to take my design and place it. But look, my design is too big. So I want to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to edit the object. I'm going to shrink it just a little bit. Notice it stays proportional. Press OK and OK. I'm going to get out. And I'm going to take my design now and put it right on top of where my fabric is.
So we did get a question, Jerry. What's on top of the fabric again?
This is, oh, I'm sorry. That's a good question. I forgot to say. This is, what I did is I used a little bit of, it's like a paperback fusible webbing. It's made by Brother. It's called an applique contact sheet. And all you do is you iron it to the wrong side of your fabric. And once you cut it out, it's going to then be, I'll show you when it's done. Once you cut it out, you can then take your little applique piece over to your project and iron it down, and it will fuse itself down. Do you have to use this? No, you can cut your fabric. Remember, you can use this for quilt blocks. And most of us quilters do not put any kind of fusible webbing on the back of our piecing. So yes, you can just straight cut out fabric if you want to. But this is just to show in case you want to do some fusing. Now, hopefully this will work because I didn't, like I said, I didn't iron this down too well. So we'll see. I don't know why. But what it's going to do, this is an auto fabric blade. And what it's doing, let me come back down. And you know that it's the fabric blade because it has a beige color on the top. So what it's doing now is it is not cutting quite right because that was my fault. But let's see what happens.
You have to iron it on, Jerry.
Yeah, you have to iron it on the wrong side. Nope, it didn't cut out because that was my fault. My fault. I mean, it's there, but it's not quite where it should be. That was my fault. I didn't iron it out. Once you are done, this is what you are going to get. You're going to have a piece of fabric. Look how clean those edges are. And on the back,
amazing. There is no way I could cut that with applique scissors after it's tacked down.
Not that accurately. Now, if you see the shine on the back, that is the fusible. So what I would do is take it over to my project, set it down, and touch this with an iron. And it would fuse right onto my project. Again, you don't have to use this. You could just cut straight fabric if you wanted to. And I have a piece here. Let me see if we can do this. See if this works here. I don't have to scan it. Let me make sure. Let me get out of here because I want to make sure that my half cut is off. The half cut is what you're going to use for vinyl. And I may have put it on. Yeah, I turned it on. So let me turn it off. Retrieve my data. I'm just going back and doing what I just showed you. So we're just going to. Okay. Take our pieces. And I'm going to ungroup them. This isn't the most exciting part to watch. Oh, we can all listen to Hercules. All right, Miss Barbara.
Oh, so while you're doing that, Charlene asked, does the fabric mat come in more than one size? Currently, it's just been released and it's available in the 12 by 12 size. And Josie asks, what projects are included in the book? There are tons. I will include the link to our product page that will show you a little bit more, but it's just amazing. And let's see, Pat asked, do you only use the half cut for vinyl?
No. I use it when I use like a thick fusible on the back of fabrics. I'll do a half cut because I only want to cut out the fabric part. So I don't want to cut down to the mat. I don't want to cut through the mat. That's the beauty of the auto blade is you won't really cut through the mat anymore because it's automatically sensing how thick something is. Most of the time you're going to use it on vinyl because you don't want to cut through the backing of the vinyl. You just want to cut through the vinyl itself.
Got it. And then maybe after we do this, if you could give us a sneak, do you have the playbook with you?
I do. I have to.
Maybe you can show us a page or two for Josie to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me shrink my design here a little bit.
Yeah, and Maggie's wondering if there's fabric projects in the book.
Yes,
So
there are.
what I love about the playbooks, I don't currently have the ScanNCut one, but I need to get that one like ASAP. I've just been so busy embroidering lately. But it when you get this machine, it does so many things you don't know where to start. So it gives you a step-by-step project to start with all the buttons, and it kind of gets your creative juices flowing, and it has video tutorials in it. It's just great. Jerry, you ready? Oh, you
Yeah.
cut?
Well, I'm cutting out some fabric. Hopefully I did it right this time.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go over our product specials while he's cutting those out for you guys. So the machine that we started out with is the Persona. Right now, we have that on special for $49.99. So I'm going to show you really quick our product page for that because we have a very unique deal going on today for that. So when you go to our product page, this is the Persona right here. You'll see where you can choose an optional extra. So you can choose, which it's not going to show for my screen sharing, but when you do click this drop down arrow on the product page, you can choose the stand, the rolling stand. You can choose 0% synchrony financing. You can trade in your existing machine. You can choose PE Design 11 full digitizing software, or the Durkee sturdy split frame hoop, or BES4 lettering, or any of those 2 cap frames that we talked about in this presentation, or the free motion kit. And there's tons of other options available down below that you can choose from on the Persona, which is only $49.99, and it is available for online sale and free shipping. So that again is the Persona. So we have also the cap frame. The PRCF3 is available for online purchase. It's only $9.99. Otherwise, if you purchase the Persona, you can choose that as one of your free items. Then we have the Brother SDX 225F. That is the ScanNCut that Jerry is using. It is on sale for only $5.99. Josie just purchased it, and thank you, Josie, for your patience as our warehouse was closed during the winter storms, but we're reopened again and shipping now. So that is on sale for only $5.99. You get over $840 in added value just in the box. So the links for these are included in the description of the video. And then the one that I have is the SDX 230D, which is on sale for only $7.99. And it has $1,100 of extra items in the box. Free shipping, and we have plenty in stock on this model. So don't miss your chance. And also the National Embroidery Month started yesterday. So for the XP2, the 1050X, and the 2 Stellaire machines from Brother, and those are all My Design Center. We haven't even talked about that, but that's where you can basically create your own embroidery designs and fills in embroidery in the machine. It's just amazing. Camera technology. So don't miss your chance for that and the specials there. Jerry, are you ready to go?
I am. We covered a lot. We probably should have worked this down a little bit.
Puffy Foam, My Blink Applique, National Embroidery.
I cut out my flower, and there, as you can see, it beautifully cut it out. And all I'm going to do is use my little spatula and pull this up. And there is my beautiful, again, this is just fabric. So you can see even there how beautiful the edges are. There's no fraying. So I can take, this is fabric. There's nothing on the back. So I did stiffen this up with some Terreal Magic though, so you can see what that does, how beautiful it creates like non-frayed edges. And that all washes out beautifully. So if you're having some trouble with your piecing or your applique, use Terreal Magic, and it will make everything it's like paper. So it makes it very easy to applique and piece and give you a lot of accuracy. so your fabric isn't kind of flopping around there. So isn't that nice? Didn't that come out nice? So that was cut out very easily.
nice.
Now, the last thing that I want to show very quickly, I'm just going to talk about it, is the rhinestone kit. And I just have step outs here so that you can see. And I'm not going to go over Lewis's time. I absolutely refuse. So,
well, if anybody wants to see more about the rhinestone starter kit, we spent 2 hours last Thursday talking about that with Lewis Carney. So go back in our videos if you missed that one.
And I'll just go over it real quick. So this is a backing. It's like a felt piece of fabric or a felt piece that comes with the rhinestone starter kit. Isn't this cute with Easter coming up? The machine cut out the little circles, and then all you do is you take your rhinestones and you set them in here, and you use the brush that comes with it. It's a very fine little brush. And you're just going to use little circles, and you're going to put you're going to circle over the rhinestones, and they automatically settle into these little holes. Then you're going to use the carrier sheet. It's got a sticky back. It's a sticky back carrier sheet. It's kind of like contact paper. And you're going to place that over the rhinestones, and then this is what you're going to get. So there's your design with all the rhinestones. And you're going to take this over to your project. You're going to lay it down and iron it. You're going to press over the top of it. Yes, you can iron right on this. This is heat proof. Iron that right on there. And the hot fix crystals, there's adhesive on all these crystals. It will stick to your project. So that's the rhinestone kit. That was a little teaser for that.
We did sell out of those last week, but they are on order. So if you go ahead and order it now, we'll ship it to you as soon as they become available.
Absolutely. Wow. I'm pooped.
Muted. Okay, you did great, Jerry, and we all love and appreciate your sharing your knowledge with us today. Does anyone have any last questions before we close out the evening?
Well, first off, thank you all very much for sticking around. I didn't realize it was going to take that long. I thought I could whiz through this, but there's a lot to cover. Awesome questions. Please keep them coming. Can't wait to see you all live. I want to thank AllBrands very much for this opportunity. I love working with you all. You know, I love you all so much. And I look forward to seeing not only AllBrands, but all of you as well. I know a lot of you from the events, and I can't wait to see you again in person. Hopefully that's very soon. Any other questions? I'm here, you know, just a couple of We have 4 minutes before I go over Lewis's time, and I'm not going to do that.
Well, I don't know. Is it a competition?
No.
Everyone's saying thank you so much. So everybody, go ahead and give us some comments. I'm going to choose a live watcher for the $100 allbrands.com e-gift card. And who knows, you might want to use that on purchasing a ScanNCut or any of the other awesome products from allbrands.com that Brother creates and carries and provides wonderful support for, like educators and playbooks and different blogs and sites and YouTube. And there's just so many resources out there for Brother products. So let me go ahead and choose a winner. All right.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. Oh my gosh, this is too much pressure. Okay. But we do this every time. So no worries if you don't win today. Keep watching because you know you're bound to win at some point. All right. So our winner is Christy Gray. We did pick you. Well, isn't it your lucky day, Christy?
I just noticed she just said she really wants the rhinestone. Now you can get it.
Yeah, and more because the rhinestone starter kit's only $59.99, and this is a $100 allbrands.com e-gift card. So email me at events@allbrands.com, Christy, and I will get that sent over to you. And congratulations again. And thank you, everyone, for joining us and for watching today. And thanks, Jerry.
Thank you so much, Barbara. This is so much fun. Hope to come back and do more with you.
Yeah, I would love it, and I think everyone else would too. You're getting tons of love.
Oh, well, I'm giving it back. I'm giving it back.
So yeah, so don't forget everybody, we have amazing deals on everything that was shown today, and we would hope that you would choose allbrands.com. We're a family owned and operated business. I'm part of the family, and we really sincerely appreciate your business and your continued support and joining us for the All Brands show. You make it fun. You just make it wonderful for us, and thank you, Jerry.
Very quickly, if I can, I know all the AllBrands people. When they say it's a family-owned business, it is. I've met them all, and they're fabulous people. They will do anything they can to make things right for you. So, and their technicians are amazing as well. So, if you're looking for a new dealer, if you're in the area, maybe you moved in, please go to AllBrands. They're wonderful.
Yeah, and we ship all over the world for products that we're allowed to do so on from Brother. So yes, so we were actually the first internet retailer of sewing machines in 1996. We still sell tons of knitting machines and industrial machines, but yeah, we do a lot with Brother because they just make a phenomenal product.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. I hope to see you all soon.
Yes. All right. Well, tuning out, and we hope everyone has an amazing day. Mwah.